If you're listening to this alone, if the lights are off, if your house is quiet, I want you to pay attention to the sound underneath the silence. Because houses breathe, and some of them are not empty. I grew up in Canada, in a town so small I didn't even bother pretending it was permanent. Just a scattering of houses pressed against a tree line. One grocery store, one road in, one road out. Snow for half the year, darkness for most of it. The kind of place where winter doesn't feel like a season. It feels like something's watching. When I was 14, my parents bought a house they shouldn't have been able to afford. Old, cheap, too much space for the price. The realtor didn't smile when we asked why. She just said, "It's been hard to keep people there." We moved in anyway. The first night I couldn't sleep. Not because I was scared. Because the house wouldn't stop making noise. Not settling noise. Not pipes. Not wind. Breathing. Slow. Deep. Patient. At first I thought it was my own chest echoing in the dark. Then I realized the sound was coming from the walls. It only happened after midnight. Every night. At exactly the moment when the house was quiet enough for you to hear your own thoughts. That's when it started. Inhale. Exhale. The walls expanding and contracting. Just slightly. Like lungs. I told my parents. My father laughed. My mother said old houses made strange sounds in the cold. But I noticed something. The breathing changed depending on where I was. If I stood still, it slowed. If I moved, it followed. 2 weeks after we moved in, I woke up to someone standing in the doorway. My doorway. I couldn't see their face. Just a shade darker than the darkness behind it. Tall. Too tall. I tried to speak. I couldn't. My throat felt packed with cotton. The thing in the doorway leaned forward, and the breathing got louder. Not in the walls anymore. In the room, right beside my bed. I squeezed my eyes shut. When I opened them again, the doorway was empty. But the carpet beside my bed was indented, as if something had been standing there for a long time. From that night on, the house began to rearrange itself. Not dramatically, just enough to make you doubt your own memory. Doors slightly more closed than before. Chairs turned at different angles. Family photos tilted, always facing inward, toward the hallway, toward the bedrooms. I started whispering at night. I don't know why. It felt wrong to speak out loud after midnight. Like the house was listening. Like volume mattered. One night, while whispering to myself under the blankets, I heard something whisper back. Not words. Breath. Mimicking me. Right next to my ear. I stopped sleeping. That's when I started using voices. My mother calling my name from downstairs at 3:17 a.m. My father coughing in the hallway outside my room. Footsteps backing back and forth, stopping directly outside my door. Never entering, just waiting, always breathing. One night I gathered enough courage to open my door. The hallway was darker than it should have been, longer. The end of it stretched farther away, like it was pulling itself open. And at the far end, something was standing, not fully formed, like a person remembered incorrectly. The chest rose and fell in massive, exaggerated breaths. Each inhale made the walls shudder. Each exhale carried the smell of old wood and damp soil. It lifted its head and it whispered, "You're inside me." The next morning, my parents told me that they've been having the same dreams, of hallways with no end, of rooms that swallowed sound, of waking up unable to move while something stood just out of sight, breathing patiently, waiting for sleep to return. The neighbors stopped making eye contact. One woman finally pulled my mother aside. She whispered so quietly I almost didn't hear her. It doesn't like when you notice it. That night, the breathing became frantic, fast, panicked, angry. The walls pulsed, the floor vibrated. I heard something moving inside the ceiling, too heavy to be an animal, dragging itself from room to room, above our heads, choosing. At 4:02 a.m., the bedroom door opened by itself. The breathing stopped. Something stepped inside. The weight of it pressed the mattress down beside me. I felt the indent, felt the cold, felt its face inches from mine. And then, it did something worse than touch me. It matched my breathing perfectly, in sync. Inhale, exhale. Like it was practicing, learning. We left the next day, packed nothing, told no one. The house didn't persist. It didn't need to. Years later, I looked it up. No records of deaths, no crimes, no history at all. Just a note buried deep in municipal archives. Structure condemned. Interior dimensions inconsistent with exterior measurements. Cause unknown. People still live there, briefly. They complain about insomnia, night terrors, the feeling of being watched from inside the walls. And every winter, when the snow seals the sound in, they hear it, breathing, slow, deep, patient. So tonight, when your house is quiet, when you're sure you're alone, listen carefully. If you hear breathing that isn't yours, don't hold your breath, because it's already learned how you breathe, and it's been waiting for you to fall asleep.